When I look back to my own childhood, I remember my parents being true civil rights advocates. I grew up in a small town in southern Illinois. I was the youngest of four kids. My parents had always pushed for us to understand, but not always accept, that disparities existed. There were social political disparities, educational, economic, and healthcare. My grandparents, aunts, and uncles all supported an idea that we had a right and a responsibility to address these issues in a real and meaningful way. When I got out of the military, I decided that it was time for me to move to Chicago for one reason. I wanted to pursue my artistic interest. I'd always considered myself creative. A lot of people around me thought of me as a very creative person. I think I have a grain of talent as far as making artwork. I completed my associate's degree at Southern Illinois University in respiratory care. I continued at SIU to complete my bachelor's degree in healthcare management and administration. During that last year of my undergraduate program, I also became the president of the American College of Healthcare Executives. We were very busy. After I left Southern Illinois University, I went on to St. Louis, Missouri, to a large healthcare provider. I believe it was the largest in the state. I worked for about a year and a half as a floor registered respiratory therapist before becoming supervisor of respiratory therapists on the nights and evening shift. I think at the time there were about 150 respiratory therapists working in that hospital. I covered primarily a cardiothoracic ICU and a 75-bed emergency room. For me, probably the single most difficult part of being in a physician assistant program is the amount of time you spend away from your friends, your family. When I'm home, I like to spend time with my wife and my kids, doing fun, creative things whenever I can. I grew up in a world where I faced continuous negative social stigmas. Over time, I learned to respond to the world instead of reacting to it, so I was never offended. So as a physician assistant, I'm being trained to do 80 to 90% of what most physicians do. The programs are notoriously difficult nationwide, so I attend class every day with a certain degree of delight and a bit of vindication that I'm here not so much because of who I am, but in spite of it.